There we go. Sorry about that. Um, didn't realize I was muted. Anyway, I'm gonna sort of recap it here a little bit. I'm I'm gonna show you guys what I just invested in. Uh, just as I go to speak about this, I'm just going to try to keep it as simple as possible. What I'm about to express. I use a Boss RC505 Looper. I bought my Looper a year and a half ago. Well, it's going to be 2 years in June. Long story short, I love my Looper. And for the last week or 2 weeks, I've been looking at some things I could add to produce a better quality sound. Okay. In doing so, on the weekend, I think it was Friday or I think it was Friday or Saturday. Anyway, long story short, I decided to upgrade my looper. It's still the Boss RC505, but they call it the Mark II. And you guys have never seen my looper before. This is pretty well the same as my other one, but it's a little bit longer. It's got more. They upgraded the compressor. They did a whole incredible amount of stuff. And when I was watching a couple of videos on people speaking about the Boss RC505 Mark II, because the one thing that we all um, have is that it has a tendency to compress our signal. So this is like channel one. So if I was, actually, I'll plug it in right now. This is the first time I plugged her in, okay? And this is what happens when it starts up. All these, right? It's just computerizing itself. I'll give it a sec. These are the volume controls that I adjust while I'm playing. Once I uh, once I lay down a track, the first track I never adjust the volume, but the tracks thereafter. So this here is recording right now. If I hit this, now it's just going to play it. But if I hit this again, it turns white and is actually adding a layer. That's how this thing works. Okay, and to clear it, because I haven't got this programmed yet. It's no, yeah, because I haven't got it programmed to what I wanted to do. Um, there we go. It's gone. So with my foot pedal, she because you guys usually don't get to see her. With my foot pedal, this is channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is I get to with my foot pedal. One part allows me to go from track to track. Uh, it's only one pedal with two sides, and the left side allows me to change track to track. On my right side, I have it programmed that it starts recording and starts, stop and start recording. And then I can also add layers to that as well. So I can sit here and record this one. Let's say it's going for a while. And I usually never ever add. Now I don't. I used to, but not anymore. After I lay down the first track, what I start adding is when I start adding it on to track two. And then, because what I've been doing because um, of how it compresses the signal when you start adding the layers, I just don't haven't been adding layers, and that's why I've been talking about getting a second looper. And so that's what my looper looks like. Number one. And so I went in today to trade in my old looper to get this looper, number one. While I was there, I end up getting a couple of items. These are foot pedals. This one here is a delay. You guys will hear this when I start putting this together. Um, this is a delay switch. It's really cool what it does. I also got a reverb foot pedal. So this is for reverb. And there's levels, tones, and shimmer, dynamic, like whatever I want. Like it's like crazy. And when I say this, each of these foot pedals, I'm going to say the word average, is about 250 each. Yeah. And but like what they're going to do for me is going to be incredible. Um, I thought that the store I was at had my it's called an equalizer, but what happened was they didn't have it. So I'm getting this little equalizer, and this is going to allow me to control more of the tones and pitches. So my intentions with investing into all of this gear is to have better quality sound and added flavors to what I already do, right? I can't wait to start using this. Now, I already have two pedals. I just added three, so that makes five pedals. Here's the thing is this, is each of these pedals need to be connected. So I have these short little cables because what's going to happen is all the pedals are linked together. And I just about shit, and there's no other word for this. Like, fuck, I just about shit my bricks. These three chords were $65. And I said to the guy, like, what? So then he went on to explain to me why. And I went, okay, I get it now. Can I articulate what he said to me? Not really, but I understood it. And that's the main thing that I understood. So these three little things get to link all these together. I may have to get another set, be quite honest. But here's, like, I don't usually, I never, or usually, yeah, the word is usually I never go looking for stuff. It's only when I'm being guided that I do things that I always find exactly what I'm looking for because Spirit's guiding me. So I wasn't going to get this today, and and I just went, fuck it. That's what I said to myself. Fuck it, get it. So, you see this puppy? This is for my foot pedals. I'll show you. Upside down. There we go. Move it up close. Power source. I haven't really opened this yet. In here, just so you guys know, is they've already got like pre-cut. So all I have to do is pop these out. I'll show you. Okay. This has input, output, DC power sources built right into this. It's all here and jacks as well. And so this is like everything all in one. And I'll show you. Here we go. This is quite the guy that I was, whoop, got my shirt caught. Oh, there. The guy who's servicing me when I said, fuck it, I'm going to get it. And I said, can we just open it so I can just look at it? He goes, yeah, of course. And he had never seen it. So he was quite excited. He goes, I'm getting me one of those. And in this pad, this is the pad from in there. These things can pop out. And these fit perfectly in each one of these. And I've got one here. I can put, I can do this any which way I want, but there's a small one here, small one here, small one here. So I can put three small ones on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top. Now, as I go to say this, I'll show you guys this. This is my volume pedal. So that takes up a lot of space. So it's, yeah, my volume pedal does take up a lot of space, but you know, when I go to start putting this together, and what I'm seeing more and more for myself is that because of my personal consciousness and understanding more about who I am and who's been guiding me all this time, which is spirit. That with that, now I work with that understanding. And it's like even being, you know, at Long McQuaid today, and, you know, um, it was, whew, you know, I went in for four things, or three things actually, which was the looper, and that, and then I was planning getting three pedals, and then I just wanted to see what they called it a pedal board looked like, and that, and I just I just heard get it, trust. A lot of what I do is trust, trust and faith both, and everything I do, of course, is for my music, of course. But I'm talking aside from that, that, you know, trusting, I've never trusted as much as I now trust. And I'm trusting like fully and completely like I've never have before. They're constantly showing me and guiding me. And I'm paying attention more so these days. You know, I'll put it this way, the last 3 years of my life, like how much I have grown and expanded in the last 3 years in connecting with this amazing community that I'm a part of. Like, we are fucking amazing. We truly are. And because I've been hanging around with all of you beautiful beings in this amazing community, and it started out with Todd Medina, and shortly after that was, well, actually at that time, Shanine Mullen was pretty well right away. Susanna Mara was pretty well right away. And just Susanna Mara, there's no word that I can even start to express the impact and imprint that she has had on me, and my expansion is massive. Massive. And I'm so grateful for who Susanna Mara is. And if you guys have not checked her out or not aware of her, I highly, highly recommend go check her out. She was one of the people in the early stages of me connecting with this community uh, who told me like my music is light language. Jeanette Smith's, I can't say her last name, and that who lives in Pennsylvania. Like, you know, people help me to understand my music. I already understood it within me. I knew where it was coming from was very special. I knew that. I've always known that. But to step in and to connect with, Todd, Shanine and Suzanne and Denise Chadwick, and like the list is huge, right? But Suzanne Amara did host a gathering, weekly gathering, speaking only light language. Um, she hasn't done it for about a year now because she ended up going to Egypt about a year ago, and she was there for a few months, and it just how all of our lives are shifting and changing. So, but because we had this weekly gathering, and all was expressed was light language, it was magical. And to know and understand, and for me to understand myself, it's not anything else other than myself. What I do is light language, language of the soul. That's all it is. We call it language of the heart, but I'm taking it to another level. Language of the soul. And there's many different dialects on light language, but we don't need to understand what's being spoken because we can actually feel the vibration and what's being spoken. And what I found quite absolutely fascinating, that, for example, in light language lounge, and that somebody would speak a dialect and it will activate somebody else to speak in the same dialect, and they're going back and forth. It's just the most magical thing, and to feel that energy, like, wow, wow. And for me to be a part of that, and I have massive gratitude to and for Suzanne, not just because of that, but for the many, many things. But when I choose to go where I can expand, I can understand more. I don't need to learn. Fuck all. None of us do. We already know within. And that's the whole thing. It's like if somebody doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Just move on. If you find people that you can resonate with, great. Because by you hanging around with that energy of others, that's where we get to. Oh yeah, we get to expand. And you know, it's like we are done with compromising for the sake of others. We're just so done. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. You'll get there because it just it just naturally happens. But here's the thing: is this we are starting to to pay attention to how others makes us feel. We know that they're not responsible for how we feel. Mm-mm. We are responsible for how we feel. But if you're around people where you don't feel good or any of that stuff, just move on. We don't have to stay around people for the sake of staying around people. And I find myself that, I've had to let a few people go recently. And it doesn't mean I don't love them or care about them. It doesn't mean that at all. Yet, by me honoring myself, I'm actually honoring them too. I don't have to say nothing to them. Because right now, like this thing that I'm going through, where like I haven't talked to really anybody, and I don't talk, and people, when I start, actually, Spirit showed me this recently, that I'm very much like Todd. I'm a hermit. I don't talk to people, right? I'll be polite, nice, absolutely, because that's who I am. But I had this beautiful lady who reached out to me. We started texting back and forth, and she was saying she's struggling with depression, like she's feeling very depressed. So I just went, instead of this, because me and texting don't jive, and I just said, fuck it, I'm going to call you. So I called, and I think we talked for a couple hours. And what I found after talking to her was a beautiful conversation, that it took me 2 days. Like, honest to God, it took me 2 days to level off. And there's nothing wrong with her. She's just a beautiful person. But it just showed me, like, because where I'm at this time, I can't do that. If somebody really needs my help, I'm here. But I can't go much beyond that. Like, I just can't. And it's nothing personal. I'm just not able to. And, you know, just to remind everybody, if you're not already aware of this part of my life, is on October 21st of 2022, I decided to come off all my medications. And I've already got a support team network set up, a brand new doctor, and like, he could see it in me. He could feel it in me. And he is in full support. And so I'm going to go back a little bit just to recap. In 1996, I then said I lost myself. I don't say that anymore. I was actually waking up. I just didn't know it. And because I did not have people in and around me that understood what was really going on for me. So a typical thing that I would do, which a lot of us do, we go to our doctor. I'm I'm struggling here. I can't stop crying. I can't stop crying. I don't know why I'm crying. And of course they give you pills. And that's how it started. And again, going back to this amazing community, me understanding so much more about myself. And again, not and again, sorry. So October 21st, Spirit said it's time. I said, okay. Set up my support team, and I'm only doing one at a time, gradual doses. And then I think it was the beginning of the year. I have a very dear longtime friend of mine who she is a medical tutor. She's just nothing but a pure channel on everything. Just incredible. And we've been friends for many years. And so she said to me, Ernie, what they're telling me is you're here, stick on that, come down on the other one, and once you come down on that one level, stay on those two last. I'm on the final stretch, by the way. Okay, I'm really on the final stretch. And I've only got one, I don't have any more levels to go down except for stopping them on both of them now. It's been absolutely fantastic. But again, because of the support and the connections I have, plus me being connected to me, right? My consciousness, my understanding. And that's where, me not wanting to talk to people or not able to talk to people, I've never been a talk to people type person. I'm not an extra, there's nothing in me that's an introvert, or sorry, extrovert. Nothing in me is that. I'm a true introvert. I'm a hermit. I just like peace and quiet, just who I am. But here's the thing is this, I cannot handle much, with people talking about stuff, and I go, I can't handle it. And it's nothing personal, just where I am. That is just where I am right now. And with this process I'm going through, I'm personally very proud of me and where and how far I've come within myself. More importantly, how far I've come within myself. And as I come off all these medications, it's a new way of me existing. But I'm not existing, I'm living now. I'm doing things and understanding things like I've never have before. And, that's where, if somebody needs my help, I'm there for you. But I can't do much beyond that. You know, it's quite interesting. The title of my first album is Me, Myself, and I. Right here. And this is, oops, there we go. That's the title of my first album, Me, Myself, and I. And recently, in the last 6 months, because all I knew is that me, myself, and I didn't understand that Spirit gave me the name, first of all. I thought I came up with it. just, I look back now and I chuckle, right? And me, myself, and I felt right because my music is me, myself, and I, all of me. It's my soul speaking. And I had a friend of mine then, at that time, she thought by having the title, Me, Myself, and I, is very centered, self egotistical, and I'm going, no. So, but what I did is I stuck the word expressions. This is the first actual cover of it. So, expressions of me, myself, and I. Yes, that is me, Ernie. That's the back of my gold. I had a gold wing back then. And so I stuck the word expressions on there. I didn't really like it, but I understood it felt okay. And when I went to do the second cover, word expression was gone. And now it's just back to me, myself, and I. But here's the thing is this. Spirit has shown me and give me glimpses into the me, myself, and I. And I'm going to say the word, not scary, meaning running away, but when they sort of show me, like, this is the part, like sometimes it's too much, so I'll just shut it off, okay? And so as I roll with this journey of mine, and I keep on expanding, understanding myself, everything will level itself off. I know that. And then I'll be able to really tap into this because here's the other part about being on these medications. I just didn't see it then, but I now see it, that these medications just put me into a fog. Do you want to know something really cool? I just caught this today. Um, oh, I can't remember which state it is in the U.S., but they just legalized mushrooms. And they've been testing it for a while. And what they have found, that with, these mushrooms, that it helps people with depression, anxieties, alcoholism, mm-hmm. another thing. So the state just legalized it in their state. And I don't feel that it's going to be not too far along down the road that it'll be federally, both Canada and the US. And for me is just like, you know, with CBD oil. Like, look how many years it took them for these old mentality without trying to learn to understand, but they're getting it now. And that's where legal marijuana is finally there. It's legal all across Canada. I know it's not all across the states, but a lot of the states, different states, it is legal, and that so it's getting there. With this stuff is on the healthy side, instead of these synthetic medications that you know the pharmaceutical companies want us to get, right? And those pharmaceutical companies, I'm not putting them down. I feel that they've had a purpose, okay, but it's ridiculous, you know. It like taking a synthetic pill for this, take a synthetic pill for that. It's it's not meant for our systems, and that's why our systems get so fucked up. I'm talking about our body system. And that's where, for me, like, just so you guys know, like, I'm very aware about CBD oil. I did get some at that time. Um, yeah, that was the latter part of last year. I did get some, tried it. Um, I like the fact that it doesn't, no residual effects with it. I'm going to be getting more of that. I definitely, now that I'm where I'm at, because I know when I did that, I was not coming off of my medications yet. No, it's different. And here's the thing too. I find that I'm paying more attention to myself, not others. Right? We cannot ever change others. The only person we can change is ourselves. And meaning how we deal with things, where we put ourselves, like, or do not put ourselves. Like, I'm, I know there's people, how do I say this, who want to come visit me here. I can't do it right now. I just can't. The thought of having anybody in here, unless there's a purpose, that the only person that is going to be coming into my home very soon is a guy who's going to help me set up my recording studio at home. I've already got uh, the 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 software. Oops, there we go. Oh, okay, finally. Uh, there we go. Um, I've already had the software in my computer here. I don't know how the fuck to set it up. So, and that's part of why I figure, okay, I don't get my looper. So let's get this. For me is let me do what I need to do to get set up. So when this guy comes to my home, we can get right into it. Because I don't want to waste his time, and I don't like wasting my time. Sorry. And just so you guys know, I just came on here to see. Yeah. Hi, guys. We just seen your comments. I'm not going to really read them right now because I find if I read them, I get distracted. Um, but, you know, honor yourselves. I'm here to help somebody, right? And this is coming to me, this popped into my thoughts here. Always be truthful and transparent, you guys. That to me is a strength. Me being vulnerable is a strength. You know, there's some people who say, oh, you shouldn't talk about that stuff. You know, people would judge you. Here's the thing, if anybody judges me, that's on them. I'm going to ask you, you're going to judge me, just stop. If you want to know and understand, I'm willing to talk to you. But here's the thing is this, is some of us still have some of this old debris still in us. And I know with, you know, and I'll talk about my family, like that, you know, it's like the best thing I ever did for myself was disconnect with them all. Yeah. Let's see here. My older brother, I've not, well, I hadn't really seen him or talked to him in 50 years. I did see him 30 years ago or 33 years ago because our mother was about to die. He's still the same fucking asshole. Narcissistic, just projects like, oh, it's your fault. You did this. Like blaming it. It just, yeah. You know, so that was the last time I ever saw him, talk to him. And when I say this, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to. Of course. But why in the fuck would I put myself into that situation where somebody's going to dishonor me and disrespect me and just put me, belittle me? Fuck no. Mm-mm. Uh-uh. No. You will not get an inch near me. And that goes for anybody, really. And then with my mother, of course, she died 33 years ago. My father, when I came back, because very long story short, I flew back to PEI to see my mom, knowing that she was going to pass away. Didn't know that was going to happen while I was there because I was only there for 2 weeks. Got home, saw that nobody was helping her out at all. Her wonderful family, right? And I couldn't leave. I stayed until she was gone. I think I was there 3, 4, or 5 months. I can't remember now. It was so long ago. So that's the last time I've been home too. But here's the thing: is while I was there, my focus was mom. And then after mom crossed over, and a few things had to do with the house, reading the will because I was planning on leaving right away. I found out I had to stay until the will was read, so I stayed for that. And then I think it was the day after or something, I was out of there. But what I did is I went that night, the last night I was on PEI, and I stayed with my dad and his wife. That's the last time I ever saw my dad. And what happened after I came back out west here, that I started to realize my father was saying things like how he calls my brother every week. And that, and all of a sudden it struck me, why aren't you calling me? I'm not saying he has to. This was something that was egging at me. And, you know, I've never played games. I don't know how to play games. But after I come back, and like my father's an alcoholic, he's a belligerent asshole, right? It was just the way he was then. And I just had to disconnect from him mainly because of his alcoholism. And that because he never took responsibility for himself and how it affected us. And then my dad passed away 5 years ago now. And I started talking to him a couple years before that. And my dad asked me, why did I stop talking to him? I said, well, Dad, you can be a little difficult when you're drinking. I'm being polite, right? All us kids would do that for our parents. And my dad says, well, you know, he said, give me a sec here. Yeah. And he goes, well, I can be that way when when I'm not drinking or something. I said, yeah, but when you're drinking, you're really bad. He never really got what I was saying to him because at this point, by the way, had stopped drinking. And that's the reason why I talked to him, by the way. But he still had that same arrogant fucking asshole. My dad's a nice guy. Fuck. He is. It's not about that. And, you know, because I said to him, I said, can we talk about stuff, real stuff? I said, at any point, if you're not comfortable, you just got to let me know, right? If it's too much. But I also know that, we all know that to look at ourselves can be difficult. Dad had a difficult time looking at himself, and he had some people around him that was enabling him. Oh, poor Ivan. Oh, oh, no, that's not good for your daughter to talk like that to you. Like, what? Like, and then what it did, these outside influences affected our relationship. Because if it was just him and me, I think we could have got through it all. But because of outside influences, caused him to doubt, to whatever. It's he knows that it was his father who molested me and my two brothers, his father. And I've never brought up, they know because I sent out a letter quite a few years ago about all of this stuff. And they all knew. And it was hard to tell people, your father did this. It's not easy. But the sad part was, wow, that because he couldn't see me for me because of all his stuff. And I knew that. And after he crossed over, I can't remember who it was. Somebody, Dad, came into the picture. And the message that my dad said to me, I believe you. I wish he could have said that when I was alive, or when he was alive. But that's what happens. It's the same thing with my mother. It's when she crossed over. And I think that's the thing about us, because we're all survivors. It's, I think it's just sad that people, it's not about age, it's just people that get this egotistical, self-righteous shit out of the way, everybody. See people, hear them for what they're saying, not your perception or view of what they're saying to you. Open your heart, listen, because all of us speak truth. And if you don't understand something, then for me, if I don't understand something from somebody, I say, okay, I hear what you're saying, but can you help me to quite, so I can understand this better? That's called communication. But because you don't understand something that somebody just expressed, don't make them fucking wrong. Don't make the other person wrong because they're not wrong. Because you don't understand and you're going to judge based on the fact you don't understand. Yeah. And just so you guys know, I'm getting a cold. Okay. It started a couple days ago, but it really showed me this morning. Um, Got sniffles, not because I had some emotions coming up, no. But the part that I'm proud of myself is that I've always known the truth of who I am. I don't know how to fucking lie. And it's like I don't know how not to be transparent. Like I've always been like this, pretty much, right? Yeah. When my journey started in 1996, I get into counseling, and her name is Ferda, and she, and I will say we, but she created a safe container for me to come in every week where I could show up and open up to my own feelings, my own emotions, my own fucking thoughts. I had no idea how disconnected I was from myself. But that's because of everything that I was endured from the moment I came into this planet, right? Dysfunction around me from the get go. And here I am, you know. Oh, I'll go back to this part here, is that's how my music started, you guys, is as I opened up to my own feelings and emotions. And I would, like, some of this energy was like freaking intense then. And I would pick up my guitar and I'll start playing. And I used to sometimes take my guitar into a counseling session. I did. I said, Farida, you gotta listen to this song. Honest to goodness. And like she was going like, holy shit, right? And it was a holy shit. And that's where on this album, whoops, here we are, Me, Myself, and I, whoops, is a lot of those songs. And I'll tell you, my mom's song is on here, and which is also now my Aunt Marjorie's. Okay, that was channeled. My mom's song was channeled when I went home, and I was helping her out. And I didn't bring my guitar. I was only supposed to be there 2 weeks, and now here I'm being here for a few months. And her boyfriend, I called him Papa Stewart, and he had a guitar at my mom's place. That's how my mom's song started. I used to at nighttime. That's what I used to do. Um, a song that came during that time. I'm just looking at this. For all the children whom are lost and forgotten. Yeah, that was channeled during my counseling. I was in there 2 to 3 years. Another one. Pure joy, pure love, pure everything. It's who we are. Those three were very crucial because I did take those three songs into Farida. There's other songs on here too, but and when I was done with counseling, I left because I knew I was done. But there's still something missing. It was my spirituality. And this amazing, incredible, amazing being, Reverend Catania Kyler, came into my life. Spirit brought me her. And she had her own spiritual center, not a church, spiritual center. So I thought, okay, I'll go check you out. Because she knows, I told her I had a problem with organized religion. So I went there and went, wow, okay. But here was the beautiful part. She would do a guided meditation. And I had never experienced that before, just period, meditation, let alone somebody guiding it. So as she was doing her magic, and I would just tap into the energy, just feeling the energy of it all. And I went home, and her song was channeled, which is called Instrumental Silence, which is now on an album by itself for 55 minutes and 43 seconds long. Yeah. Yeah. And that's on Me, Myself, and I, but it's on here for 9 minutes and 26 seconds. Then I had a friend of mine who passed away. Oh my God. I had a friend of mine who passed away, two different friends actually, as I say this out loud, because one committed suicide, and her song's called The Journey of Life. My other friend, they're both motorcycle friends, by the way, and Soulful Connection was the other one that was channeled for my friend Doreen McCluskey in Nanaimo. Yeah, and both Instrumental Silence and Soulful Connections on an album by themselves. That's 53 minutes and 34 seconds long. If you go to my website, you can hear these on there. But this is how my music has been channeled all this time. And I did not have that language around me at that time. These are all language, and not because you say this, I'm going to say this. It's not like that with me. I may hear people say things and I'll figure out if it fits for me or not. But it's nice to now understand that what I do, I'm channeling. You know? Yeah. So for those that are here that didn't see the beginning, I'll show you. This is how this started, and that's like anything. It just keeps unfolding. Is today I traded in my looper for a brand new looper, the same one, but this is called a Mark II, and so you guys would get to see for the first time, because you guys usually don't get to see this. Whoops, there we go. That's what my looper looks like. This is what my new one looks like. This one's it's got more everything in it than my other one. Put this on, you can see how the lights come on. She's just powering up right now. There we go, 5 channel. There we go. This is channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once it, there we go. And or if I press that, you can tell it's recording. So when I press it again, that means it's now playing. I can actually add layers to that again and again if I wanted to. And then channel 2. My foot pedal gives me complete control of this. I have it set up for this, but I just picked this puppy up. I want to show this to you guys before I mounted her completely because I have a stand right here for her, and I use Velcro, and I'm going to be Velcroing her on here very shortly. That way she's stabilized. So you guys get to see this for the first time. This is what my looper looks like. This is my new one now, but it's very similar. This is a lot more space here now than my other one. I'd say about maybe to here on my other one, but that much shorter, right? So I decided, wasn't going to, but when I heard some of the stuff on the weekend, I was watching some YouTube guys were talking about this. This is the Boss RC505 Mark II. They've improved the compressor and everything else, and you don't get the distortion that was there before. So that's what I did today. That's one thing I did today. Then, very quickly here, I bought some foot pedals. This one here is called a delay switch. Okay, and I'll be setting this up to figure out how I would like to use it. I also have a reverb switch now. And an equalizer. So it allows me to control the tone, the pitch, and everything that I do already. There's one item I got today. I was not going to get it, and Spirit just said, just get it. And I went, okay. Which is this. This is a Boss foot pedal case. Ta-da. She's got power source built right in her, there, and over here. So, yeah, this is where my foot pedals are going to go. And protect these puppies when I transport them. Inside that is this, that each pedal, like if I want to cut these out, like they're already pre-cut to a point, right? If I can pop these guys out, and each one of these foot pedals fit in there perfectly. Yep, it's made for these foot pedals. So I have one foot pedal. Oh, got my foot on it. The only one. This is my volume level, right here. So that's going to be going in there. Plus, I have another. My left one is on my. When I'm looking down, my left side is where my foot pedal is for my looper, which allows me to have control. So I just bought that today. Can I rephrase that? I invested in that today. Plus, these three puppies. I have to go get another one. These connect to each other in the foot pedal. I said to the guy, you ready for this? You want to know how much these three guys are? $65. And so I have to get three more because they come in packages of three, and that. But he explained to me why. I went, okay. And I could feel, because this is the thing about all of us. When people speak, we can tell if it's truth or not, or they're trying to blow smoke up our ass, or if they're not being totally truthful and transparent with all the information. We can feel that. And that's how because of my consciousness and my consciousness and my understanding, my awareness today. And I'm so grateful for this fucking amazing community that I'm a part of. We are all a part of it. And it's, understanding the information, what I've been getting, and just where it comes from. Before I thought I was being smart. It's just like when I got in 2017, a latter part of 2017, right? I thought I was being smart when hey, I'm a soulful guitarist. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, that says it all. I thought I'd come up with that. Honest to God, I did. Now I just, it was Spirit that gave me that. It was Spirit. Just, oh. And I feel that this work that we all do is there's our, well, it all is part of it. It's just, it's all inner understanding who we are, who I am. You know, it was it a year ago? Yeah. Um, my beautiful, beautiful friend, Sarah Jane Walsh, and she started coming into my field. She found me at Light Language Lounge, is where she found me. And she immediately, like, said she wanted to, she loves what I do. Long story short. When I created my private sacred group, the Alchemist Intuitive Soulful Guitarist, she was the first one. That's true. And I started noticing her from about that point, and that was August of 2021. Yeah. And then last January, January 2022, her and I had our first conversation. I learned a lot about her. She's always been connected with Jesus and Mary Magdalene, always. And but in September 2021, she damn near died because of COVID. And she didn't want to die because she has two boys. And she made an agreement, so she embodied Jesus. So there's no separation from her and Jesus. So when Sarah and I actually spoke in January, I learned this about her. But more importantly, I got to learn about me because of that beautiful, incredible conversation. I think it was about 4 hours that Sarah and I spoke, and I will add Jesus to that as well. And after our conversation, Jesus wanted to write a letter to me. So Sarah wrote the letter, which is sitting right there. I got that June, July, something like that, last year. And it just, for me to understand these events and things that's happened to me over the years, and here's a great story. I lived on 5 acres, and 5 acres, 5 miles in from the highway, like a road that goes nowhere but into the bush eventually. Anyway, so I was there for 8.5 years on this 5 acres. And that's where I did my journey. That's where my journey started. And we had this massive snowfall. It was huge. I don't know what year it was, to be quite honest. And so my roommate Barry, he was already gone to the States. I'm home alone. And we heat primarily by a wood stove. And we have a an old cooking wood stove, oven, burners, not burners, but plates on top, all of it. But that was a primary source of heating the entire house. And so we had this massive snowstorm, and I worked 4 days on, 4 days off. Then I worked with mentally challenged adults with severe behavior problems, the ones that could fucking kill you. I'm not kidding when I say that. And so, I just barely made it home from these massive couple of days of snow at this point. Barry's already gone. And so I'm home alone. And then Barry eventually came back because it must have been around Christmas or something. And our road was blocked off. There was like, it was just quite the storm we had. Anybody's listened to this that lived in Nanaimo or in BC during that time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I I I'm going back to work, and because the staff there have been stuck in that house looking after these ladies, beautiful ladies, for basically 4 days. They couldn't get out. Staff couldn't get in. It was not good. And I worked the morning shift, and so I got up in the morning, and I get out to my car, and I got onto the road, and my car slid off and got stuck in a huge, massive snow drift and bank. And I'm going, oh shit, no, no, I got to get to work. And literally, you know, that I just, I could say the word I prayed. Just, I gotta get to work. Come on, baby, get out of here. You can do this. And literally, I felt my car being lifted up and moved over. Yeah, I've had some incredible things that happened to me. I just didn't understand it then. But after my conversation with Sarah, and there's been a few other people as well since then, that I'm putting this all together. And that just tells me, also as I look back, how powerful I was back then. I just didn't know it. Yeah, a lot of answers for us all, right, as we grow and expand within ourselves. So I'm going to go. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll read your comments later. I, I just I just know what happened. If I, I can, I don't mind seeing somebody's name, right? That doesn't distract me. But if I start reading it, that will distract me. So don't think I'm ignoring you guys. If if the energy's moving through me, I just let it carry on, right? Hmm. Thanks, Tanya. I was just just so you guys know too, I'm on YouTube, uh, my Facebook personal page, my business page, and my private group. Those four right now. So I'm not sure where Tanya's in here from, but she wrote, "You're healing your lineage, love, soul connection. In the new earth, it will be magical. It is already magical, and it's getting more magical all the time." Yes, yeah. And all you guys, thank you very much. And I can't wait to see what the magic I get to unfold now. It's, I got to change, change everything I do because that my foot pedal board case, all of my pedals are going to go in there permanently, and um, yeah, it's I'm in my heart, my soul, I'm beaming, smiling big time. As you can see, my face smiling, and because I don't, it's funny when I say this out loud. Is I don't do much for myself. This is what I do for myself. This is doing for me, and especially with what I do. Anyway, love you all dearly. I'll see you all soon.